Hello, beautiful people. This is PB Squamer. You are about to witness the SmashCast podcast. Steven and I did our best with the audio. We did not realize it did not record on the microphones, so all of the audio came through the phone. So I'm just letting you know that happened. I hope you guys enjoy it anyways, and you could support us however you want by following, subscribing, sharing, whatever the platform calls for. Good luck.
Hello, and welcome to whatever this is.
I thought we just agreed on SmashCast.
SmashCast, is that what we're calling it?
SmashCast podcast.
SmashCast with PB and Stevie.
I like it.
Yeah. All right.
Can I just start by saying I've never held a microphone like this, and I feel very professional, but I am feeling a little insecure that you got headphones and I did not.
Well, it's just covering up the fact that I didn't do my hair. Your hair always looks good.
Well, okay, we're talking about hair here? Okay. Whatever. You know what? It's fine. So, this is the first one.
This is the first one of, we'll see.
We're going to do our
Whose idea was this? Who wanted this? No one asked for this.
So many people asked for this.
Here's what happens. You have a question, and you put it online, people are like, oh yeah, I would love to listen to this. So, that's what we did.
That's what we did. I'm curious if that'll hold. If this is going to be like, we're going to watch it, and then you and I are going to post it, and then nothing comes of it at all.
Yeah, I don't even know what we're going to post this on.
That's a good point. We didn't actually discuss.
We discussed nothing.
We did.
The hardest part about doing something is doing something. You know what I mean?
You know what? This is more progress.
We should call it Gold Nuggets. Because that was a nugget.
Yeah.
Gold, yeah? No? All right.
That's a choice.
That's a choice. Why choose? Squammy pants.
Yeah, but there's not always a reason to. You can do it all.
What's cool is I can hear you louder, and I like the way your voice sounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like it.
This is two bros chilling on a podcast.
Can you hear me? Yes.
I can hear you. All right, let's get serious for a second. I want to talk to you about testicular cancer and why.
This is why I wrote questions, because I knew if I just let you start, it would immediately go off the rails.
I'm sorry.
And you were like, okay.
Right, we have questions.
I have them. I wrote them down, basic things, because I figured we honestly, once we do this, but I do want to say, so the Fantasy Fangirls, they do this. Theirs are 57 to 60 pages.
Well, they don't do this. They do something resembling good.
I was going to say they do actual things, not show up.
Shout out to them. They're awesome. FFG.
You've been on them. Theirs, right?
Yeah.
They haven't asked me.
Well, I did like a skit. I wasn't really on their podcast. It was like a skit thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not good enough.
I'm not good enough. But they're great people, and we love you very much.
Wasn't there only one sister, too?
No, I chatted with them. Okay, yeah. Oh, so I had her on a Patreon thing, yeah.
Okay.
I had Nicole.
It's because you couldn't even get both sisters. They're like...
I couldn't afford them.
They were like,
I said, give me one.
So you're like, is there like a discount?
I got them on, it was a half-off deal. I didn't know they would half be there, but...
He signs on. Where's the other one? Yeah, you don't get both. So
yeah, that's what happens.
Okay, so first, I figured we'd start with...
What is our plan for this? Right now, we're just chatting. Just chatting.
This was the plan.
Okay.
People wanted... I think it's just because you have some ADHD. I have some ADHD.
I have all the ADHD.
We have... In the combination, we have all of it.
It's also weird. I can smell myself. I need a shower. So after this, I'm going to take a shower. But go ahead. Speaking of ADHD...
Is that what I've been smelling this whole time?
It's either that or just the lust in the room.
It's pretty much.
Or the smell of what you did in here yesterday. What? Stupid. Farted, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Anyway. Oh no. Check.
What?
No, you keep talking.
It's good.
It's good.
It's just lagging on the loading?
Yeah,
okay.
We just lag a little bit. It's okay.
Let's see. Okay, let's questions. Otherwise we're going to go off the rails the whole time.
Yeah.
I figured we'd start with who we are.
Okay.
Who are you?
My name is Steven.
Yeah, I got age,
Walker.
where we're from, and what we do for real jobs.
Oh no, that's not good at all.
You can choose not to answer any of my very loose. This is not a serious.
Loose is a fun word.
These are loose questions.
These are loose questions. Okay, yeah. My name is Steven Walker. I am old.
You're not old.
I'm 36.
You're older than me.
Yeah, but that's also
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay.
Some call me Daddy. That's what it is. This podcast is called Daddy and the Kid, and I'm just going to give gold nuggets to my son.
I'm not that much. Okay, sure. I'm not that much younger than you. Okay. Well, I'm PB Squamer. I'm 28.
Of course you are.
I am.
You give off 28.
Yeah,
It's giving young and vibrant.
Yeah. I'm young. I don't know about the vibrant part. It depends on the day.
That's a good point.
I'm from Maryland, and I'm a program manager for my day job for contracts and physics.
And physics. That's the thing, right? You're like the ultimate book boyfriend. You got motorcycles that you don't ride in the cold. You have a physics job.
It's a fair weather
You have
thing.
masks.
I do have masks.
You're a golden retriever, I've been told.
I've been told. I put it on a t-shirt, so it must be true.
You know what's funny? This is off topic, but here we are. I was told once on a podcast that I give off alpha energy. And I choked back a laugh. And then I audibly laughed. You've never met me in person.
No offense, Steve.
I don't give off alpha. Maybe alfalfa.
There's some people I've met that I'm like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
there's some things there that are very intimidating about them. You're tall, but other than that, you're not very intimidating as a person. You're just too goofy. I think.
That's what it is.
Which is, I'd say same. I don't think I'm very intimidating. Although I say that, and is it working?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I say that, and I will at the events. People, I don't know if you have had it, but I've had it a few times where the event coordinator or someone will come get me to be like, hey, that person, it's usually a girl, that woman over there is scared to talk to you, so can you go over and talk to her? And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I don't think I'm too scary to approach.
Yeah,
but
it's just like the fame thing. People get nervous around that.
I think so. I'm not. The fact that we say fame thing is wild to me in general. Like, a year and a half ago, I had I think 200,000 followers, and it was like a very random. I made whatever I could think of, and then I got the motorcycle, and then I got the books, and now it's like I'm this thing for this group. So
yeah,
because you were at 1 million a while ago.
Yeah, but I got famous for other reasons. No, like I did like funny parenting content like 2020.
Okay.
And then I got to 1 million.
I really need to scroll to your populars, honestly. I didn't.
It's all crap.
Okay.
It's all downhill.
Garbage.
I'm liking where I'm at now in this space. Okay, so what's the next question?
Oh, right. Let's see. How did we get started? So that I just kind of delved into that. In booktok.
How did we get started in booktok?
Yeah. How did you make the jump from the content you just said to where you are now?
Well, I've always liked reading, obviously, if you see my library. And then I think one day a friend of mine asked me to read, or told me I should read Akatar. And I did that, and I documented my reading online, and people seemed to like it.
Were they just like, were you aware you looked like Cassian? Or were you like...
Oh, no.
Were you like, well, I got the hair and the beard.
Here's the thing. I don't really look like the Cassian that's portrayed in the book.
You look like the thing that people stereotype as Cassian.
All right. I don't have like the muscular build.
Well, nobody does.
And the big old wiener. Or whatever else is described.
We will be verifying this later.
Oh, man.
But no, I mean, when I picture it, that's what I picture, man bun. Do you ever wear a man bun?
I used to, and then I grew up. Every now and then, it's more practical to have a man bun. You know
I feel like it would be less hot. Like
it's less hot. Yeah.
But it does look like you.
I also have a tiny neck, so my hair kind of hides the fact that my head is floating on a small pencil.
Oh, see, I have a fat neck. Ever since I started lifting, my neck has gotten substantially bigger. It's just...
Yeah, mine's still, little old neck.
Yeah, well...
Used to call me that in college. Little old neck's coming. No one's ever called me that.
I was going to say, it's a wild nickname of all the things that people... So you just read the books.
Yeah.
And then... you just started posting, and that did what? When did the book brat thing come? Because that was your...
I said that off the cuff as I do most things in life. I just said it off the cuff, and then I realized after I said it and reading the comments that there's a corner of the world, predominantly women, who like being called brat. Because I said, book brats because I thought it was cute. Book brat sounds like a chicken. Right? So I just said that. And then all the comments, call me Brad again, Daddy.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why do I like when he calls me Brad? And I'm like, I'm going to ride this straight to the bank. Then.
Yeah, there was one event where the people in it were like, we were discussing it like a pre-meeting. They're like, I can't believe they like that. And I was like...
that was it. Where was that?
Was that Halos?
Yeah, Halos and Horns.
Yeah, Halos and Horns, where the cast was like, I can't believe they like to call you like... They like being called Brad. And they're like, can you believe that? And I'm like, yeah. Yes, I can.
Yes, I can. You have a different type of content, and it has a different fan base. And you're more popular than I now. You know what it is? It's the looks and the availability. That's what it is.
I think it's subjective, honestly. It's like I'm growing faster than you on Instagram, but you're miles ahead of me on TikTok.
But I don't have any engagement on TikTok.
That's true. Lately you have.
I have nothing.
Although I think the Lights Out one did pretty well. I feel like I was checking your views recently, and I feel like your Lights Out video did really well. The one where you're talking about. So maybe if you want to get back on the views, it's a dark romance, man.
I don't know if I want that crowd following me around.
I'm not. It's a crowd to have.
It's a group of people.
It is a group of people. No, they're great. I mean, most of the time.
Yeah, way to shit on your audience.
Yeah, right. Anyways, so these people, no, they are awesome, and for the most part, and it brings definitely interesting conversation for sure.
Sure.
Yeah, I think the fun thing is when you meet a complete stranger and you're like, "What are you reading?" and then they tell you, and it's just rough, and you're like, "Whoa, okay, learn something about you right now." Someone recently was like, "Have you ever heard of the Lord series?" I was like, "Oh boy, have I!" And she was like, "Oh no!" It was like I knew her secret, and I was like, "I knew the whole time." No, but I think that also there are a fair bit of men that do fantasy books now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of them are trying to chase like hype. I'm just reading books because I like to read books.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I started as chasing hype, I will say. Like the first...
No,
I mean, I openly admit it.
He has admitted it right here.
I've said... He said it. No, I mean, I was popular on TikTok, not your million. I was at 200-something thousand, which is still, I think, reasonably.
That's not a small...
That's not a small
number.
So then...
Hold on, I'm going to pause for a second.
Okay.
I'm going to make sure this is working. 11:32. I'm going to pick it back up on this because it looked weird for a second.
Was it good?
Yeah. All right, back to what we were doing.
Okay. Yeah. What were we talking about?
You're talking about your numbers.
Yeah.
What's your body count?
No. Anyways, so no, I guess this is how I got started. But yeah, so I did 100%. It started as chasing, like...
Clout,
I guess. I don't know.
And now it's for chasing tails.
This is obviously, it's just for the money. No, it was like, I saw a video that was like, do men with motorcycles and tattoos know that like book women are like obsessed with them or something like that. So I had just gotten the motorcycle and I already had the tattoos, so I made a video about that. And then the comments were like, you have to go to Barnes & Noble. So I went to Barnes & Noble and they're like, no, you got to read the books. And then I picked up Shatter Me and I tried to read it. Have you read Shatter Me?
It doesn't sound like
it's
it.
It's a YA. It's adult. It took a while. It was really good, but it took a long time to pick up. So I will say that it was very YA in the beginning. Mm-hmm. So I was like, no, I'm a teenager, and I'm like, ugh. But then by the end, it was like, I'm murdering people, and I'm like, all right.
I like YA. I liked what's the Six of Crows duology. Have you read that?
I haven't. That's the only YA I've done so far because like it didn't do as well views wise when I. But anyways, so the point was I started with that, realized I have horrible ADHD and I can't sit down and read. So then I had to do audiobooks, and then when you say what audiobook to do, everyone's like ACOTAR. So they're like,
yeah.
So I did.
So that was your intro book.
Yes, ACOTAR, Sarah J.
That's usually like the gateway
it seems
into
like
this genre.
Yeah.
I love ACOTAR though.
No, I mean I need to. If I had the time, I'd love to do a reread.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that this year at some point.
I think I just worry about views because sometimes if you go backwards, and ACOTAR is so saturated with everybody making content about it.
Yeah, so, you're already unique in your sense.
That's true.
So it's not like you're copying anybody else's content.
No.
Both of our stuff is like very low quality, just chatting.
Well, I've learned that when I tried to do more, when I first started doing the book content, I was like, okay, I'm going to go to different spots and record me going and looking for these book women, but whatever. But I tried to do it where like I got a GoPro and I did the like picking up the keys and putting out the gear and all that, and it took me a while because I had to edit all that together, and that took me like, I don't know, when you don't know what you're doing and putting the sounds and matching.
Make sure you hold the microphone to your face.
Oh, I need it closer.
Yeah, right there. That's nice. Keep talking. No, it's just if you get far away, it's not a.
Oh, okay. Yes. Good. I like this because I have ADHD and I like to hold things.
I know. You were gonna hold something else, and then I gave you a microphone.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna hold a lot of things, but but no, I've learned that content-wise, the stuff I work way harder on almost never does better.
Yeah, I'll spend a lot of time on something specific, and it doesn't get anywhere, and then I'm just ranting in my car, and then that gets somewhere.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I have this 30-second idea, and I just start talking, and I'll be like, that one got 1 million views.
Yeah.
And then the one that I spent 3 hours trying to figure out and plan and do.
Yep. I wish there was like a system you could follow, like this is what's going to get the views, but it's always sporadic. It's not a posting schedule. Nothing works unless it does, basically.
Yeah,
there's no system to follow.
I honestly, and the thing that people, when they ask me, like, how do I get a lot of followers, I'm like, just post as much as humanly you can.
Don't overpost, but at least post 2 or 3 times a day.
I was like 2 to 3. The most growth I've had was 4 times a day. I would start at 7, and then 3 hours I would post again, and then 3 hours I'd post again. Because I learned anything less than 3 hours on TikTok, they like throttle the views down, so you won't, because it's not, they can't show both.
Yeah.
But I would never, and the other thing is I'd do like 4 videos, I would be like, this is the one that's going to do the best, and it would get the worst, and I'd be like, this one's not put together at all, and then it does the best, and I'm like, I can't figure it out. Do you have a time of day, you think?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
I try to post in the morning, I try to post in the afternoon, I try to post in the evening, but sometimes it doesn't work because I have a day job.
Yeah, no, when I was working from home, that was the easiest because I could do my meetings. That would take like 15 minutes to do a TikTok, maybe if that, and then.
Yeah.
But now I'm back in the office, and I can't be like, I'm gonna go run to my car real quick, so I can do it at lunch, and that's about it. So, doesn't work as well. I'm getting less views because of it. Although I say that in
you're growing rapidly though.
Instagram, I am growing. Instagram and Facebook. So my goal in the next like 2 months is I think I want 1 million followers, subscribers, whatever, across everything. That's my goal. So combined, so I could say I have 1 million.
Yeah. Well, I think you have it already.
You
already have 1 million.
No.
Across everything?
Mm-mm. I have 500 on TikTok. I have 287 on Instagram. 110 on Facebook. So I'm close. I'm getting there. I'm at like 900, but not there yet. At the rate I'm going.
Yeah, you'll be there by the end of the year. You'll be well past it by the end.
I'll probably be, I'd say next couple months.
I've kind of plateaued at 151 on Instagram, and I haven't really had any growth on TikTok. Facebook is kind of growing a little bit, but I don't know. I'm trying to just figure out ways to monetize what I'm already doing. That's the big thing.
Yeah, I mean, I still can't. I'm still not monetized on Facebook.
You know what it is? I think you're too dirty.
That's what it is. I did get sanctioned. It was like, hey, you're doing something wrong, and then it was like, and then I appealed it. They didn't even say what it was, and they were like, oh yeah, you're fine. And I was like, well, what? Okay.
That's weird.
And it said it was like, sometimes this happens accidentally. And I'm like, you just sometimes take my money away? That's not cool, but.
Yeah, the whole TikTok's the worst about that, I think. They always ban stuff, but I haven't been in jail on social media in a long time because I'm not really controversial or I don't even curse in my videos. So. There's
been a few videos where it won't even post it on TikTok. Like, I'll try to post it and it'll just stop it at 60%. But it's one that I was kind of like pushing the limits on, I'm thinking. Mm-hmm. Like I was I did the stalker series for a while where I was like pretending to stalk somebody, and it did well. Like the views were great when it went through, but TikTok, there was one specifically. It was like how to kidnap a woman, and it was. Well, that makes sense. Why they would not want that on their platform? Yeah, but it was like I saw this picture, and it was like a white van, but in the back it had like a library, and I was like, this would be way too easy. Yeah, be like just.
I may have to watch that video just for science.
Well, I think it never posted
on other platforms.
It wouldn't post on TikTok, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna leave it. So,
yeah, that's probably a good idea. So maybe that was the video that you would have got canceled on.
It would have been that one.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's coming.
I'm waiting
for everyone.
It hasn't hit me yet.
Let's give it time.
I'm waiting for.
We're not even halfway done with this. You're going to say something at some point.
Oh yeah, I was going to say what time? What are we looking at right now? The time.
18 minutes.
Oh my god, we've been rambling for a while.
Let's get back to the task at hand. Is any of this valuable to anyone?
No, that's going to be the funny. We're going to post it, and people are going to be like, ugh.
Right? Like I expected more from them. And here we are.
But do they?
Nah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
This is probably...
This is almost too much for them, I think.
They're going to be like, wow.
And who is they? Who are we even talking about? Are we talking about ourselves? The only 2 listeners?
That's the only 2 is us and our 4 friends.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I posted a video, I think it was last week, where I was at the park and some woman came up to me, or I was like, she had the favorite tattoo, the flowers. Yeah. So I saw it and I was like, and she also was wearing a shirt that said Ryerson, and she was wearing bat glasses. And I told her, I was like, oh, I like your tattoo. And she turns to me and she looks at me and she's like, can you take your hat and sunglasses off? And I'm like, yep. And she takes them off. She's like, are you who I think you are? And I'm like, probably. And she was like, oh my God. And then she took a picture. So I posted that on the story, and a bunch of the comments were like, well, who are you? And I'm like, I don't know, man.
I don't know who I am, Marcus. I thought you were about to say, can you take your mask off? Like you were wearing a mask in public places.
In the park?
We should do next time, if we do this again at any point, we'll just both wear masks.
They get hot, I'm warning you.
That's true.
They get...
You put the Fox mask on.
We have to wear that for...
Yeah, we have a ball coming up.
We have a ball tonight.
Tonight.
In 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
We have to leave, I think.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah, I'm going early to get a tattoo, so I'm gonna...
Are you really getting a tattoo?
Yeah.
Where at?
I think I'm going like 5.
On the shaft?
Right on.
Just down the side? Right there. Made in America.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. That's a good idea, because you know what fantasy balls need? Me with no pants on is the...
It's a real
just
fantasy
getting it.
ball, yeah.
It's their fantasy.
It's their fantasy balls.
No, I think I'm gonna do like a sleeve of tattoos, just starting on my upper thigh, and every event that has tattoos, because a lot of them do that we go to have tattoos. Yeah. So I think I'll just get something small and just work my way down.
I have 0 tattoos.
I as we discussed in the car 15 minutes ago, was way longer than that. You seem like you would.
Why?
I don't know. Just the vibe.
Yeah, so
I feel like you're the guy that gets the forest tattoo.
Oh, I thought that was cool at one point in time.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Yeah, I kind of still do, but never mind.
Now I don't.
I remember the barbed wire on the...
You could not pull off.
No, I remember. I used to like those as a kid.
Are you really? I see. The weird thing is, I hated tattoos. Like, I always thought they were terrible until I was like,
yeah.
I think one of the guys I went to not high school. I was in college. He was on the soccer team with me, and he got almost this exact tattoo, actually, the Greeks one. And I was like, that's art on someone's body. That's not, an anchor or a bird, and be like, this is my mom.
Stupid. Oh, well, I'm not laughing if you have that tattoo. Yeah. I'm laughing at the way you said it. This is my mom.
Yeah,
we're just moving all over meaningful tattoos.
This
is what will do it. This is what ends our. This is what ends our.
I have that tattoo.
Yeah, this is it. We had a good run, didn't we?
Yeah. This is probably what would do it for us, is that because when we do our videos, there's only a couple minutes of us talking, but an hour of just us rambling.
An unfiltered
is going to be the real issue.
Hide your kids, hide your wives.
Because they're making fun of everybody.
There we go. Making fun of everybody.
Yeah, that's not what it says in the thing, but that's not the meme.
Anyway, we're going to cut that part out.
I'm
going to cut everything out. It's just going to be us introducing ourselves, and then it's going to fade to black.
Dude, I can't remember which podcast that you and I just did together. It was After Dark.
Book Club After Dark.
Yeah, I actually am...
Shout out to y'all.
If you watch this, I'm really curious how much they actually got of usable content.
Because we even chatted with them after they stopped hitting record for a while. I usually do that with podcasts.
I'd probably say an hour.
Yeah. I love chatting with people, just generally speaking, so...
Yeah, but
because I'm dying inside.
It was supposed to be about Quicksilver, and it was maybe 15 minutes of 3 hours.
I don't even know what we talked about. I feel like I blacked out.
Dude, I feel like sometimes when you're talking, I was like, he's not going to remember this conversation.
And I was sober.
I know. It's just...
even
I
weird.
think sometimes just on autopilot for you. Like, the words are just coming.
Here's what I've found. I think intrusive thoughts win for me. Until they don't. You got to have at least some sort of, like a great value coffee filter that you can go through. I don't want to say everything.
My intrusive thoughts are always like poking things, or just being like, you should just like touch that. Like,
of course you'd be poking things. My intrusive thoughts are sticking stuff, man. No, I'm talking for you, not me. Anywho, we're here to talk about the Lord Jesus Christ. That's why we brought you here today. If you all bow your heads, we will begin praying.
It's like, are you gonna pray? I'll watch. I don't know what's happening.
I'll watch. Hey, speaking of praying, what was the next question?
Oh,
did we even answer whatever we were supposed to talk about?
How we got?
You know what this should be called? ADHD, and make it stand for something else.
You know what?
Daddy, huh? Daddy.
It wasn't even words. The first just sounds.
Daddy, huh?
No,
Daddy.
I feel like this is like a
ADHD.
clinical study of ADHD. They're just like,
you know what? If you listen to this and you enjoy it, that's how you know you have ADHD.
I feel like it's probably no one's gonna watch this and sit down and watch it. It's gonna be background noise.
No, yeah. So we'll have the audio somewhere. I don't know where. We'll take clips from the footage. We won't post the whole. I don't know what we're gonna do. We have it though.
I think we should post the full. I like how we're discussing what we're gonna do with it all on there.
Well, this is like aspirational.
Yeah.
This may be the only time we ever do this. I could die tonight. Who knows?
God, this would be a rough face. Do you think they'd give a refund if you died while there?
To me, I'd be dead.
Well, do they?
To other people.
Tickets? Yeah.
Can they refund my life? Is that what you're saying?
No, I meant
what is a human life worth to you?
Apparently, I don't know. I think nope, not touching that one. Anyways.
Oh, I forgot. That H is now scratched into the wall.
Yeah, blame Maury.
It's just there forever.
I don't think she actually.
I think she did.
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, back to the topic, ADHD.
Okay. Well, we started with how we got started into book talk.
Mm-hmm.
You read Akatar, I had the motorcycle, and then read Akatar, which is how and then I got into dark romance because I was like, you guys pick the books.
Yeah.
And they pushed me to Haunting Adeline, and I was like, of course.
Right. And I just read my first dark romance book. It was Lights Out.
Yeah, that was on my list. That was
just
the last
finished
one.
it.
What are your thoughts on the dark romance community after reading?
Well, I'm not going to make general statements about an entire community, Squamer, okay?
Why, that's what we do all it's half of our content.
No, it's not. I wasn't... let me start over. Hi, I'm Stephen Walker. This is the SmashCast. I don't think it's my kind of genre. I like a good story, right?
Yeah.
I like a good story. I thought the story of this particular book, Lights Out, was very predictable, but also kind of, that's what they want in this. Because I love rom-coms too. Like Matthew McConaughey, all those movies. I love those. And they're very predictable, but it's a good time and you get the feelies and you laugh, whatever. Same idea. So I was trying to rate Lights Out based on how I would rate a rom-com, because I'm not going into a rom-com thinking, oh, this is going to be Lord of the Rings 2.0 or whatever.
Right.
So I wasn't expecting like great writing. I don't know. It wasn't for me.
That's fair.
I'll never read it again. But it'll be fun to make content, and I'm sure other people actually like the spicy scenes, and I don't really care.
I actually don't like a lot of the book's spicy scenes. Some of them I do. Lights Out specifically, I really liked.
I can tell.
Yes. So, well, a lot of times I'm like, nah, doesn't do it for me. But Lights Out, Priest is another one where I was like,
I can't do that one, man.
I
have a religious background, and it doesn't bother me too much.
Yeah, well, it's Catholic. Maybe that would make it better. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not Catholic.
That's true. See?
Just Protestant. Is that what it's called?
Your religion? I don't know.
Protestant. I'm thinking out loud right now. Go ahead.
It's just like, what religion am I? I don't know, Stephen.
Satanism?
Yeah. What? Who?
Protestantism.
I was in church, but
let's talk about church history. So the Catholic Church split. Let's go ahead.
We're gonna go off the rails.
Yeah,
real fast. No, because Lights Out, ironically, I don't know if you know this, is a light in the dark romance community. Like, some people consider it
I get that, yeah.
a comedy dark romance.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, the darkest thing about that was when he stuck a bed and said, giddy up.
Yeah, pretty much. I think so.
Other than that, it was kind of like, all right.
I'm trying to think of anything else. Yeah, pretty much. But
it's not like it was a bad book. I think it was fine for what it is. I just don't think that's my genre. I like fantasy.
Do you think you would read another of the same level?
Yeah, I'm gonna read Haunting Adeline, I think.
You realize it's not the same level, right? Like,
it's not
much darker.
Yeah.
And then
I may not like it. I may DNF. Who knows? Here's what we're saying. Find what's for you and enjoy that.
Don't listen to us.
We listen and we don't judge.
I mean, what I read, I don't think I can judge.
No. So you don't like spice? Is that what you're telling me right now?
No, I do like the spice. It's just some of them I'm like, it just doesn't do it for me, I think.
Well, it's on paper, yeah.
It's just, sometimes, I guess a lot of it's like, I picture myself doing it, and sometimes I'm just like,
A lot of people picture you doing it as well with this masked content you make based on Lights Out.
Yeah, whenever I say I want to do a Primal Chase, which I do want to. You read the book, you know what it is now.
At the end, yeah.
It's at the end.
Yeah, that was basically like a kinky retelling of The Most Dangerous Game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? That short story everybody had to read in middle school?
I remember it. Yeah, so that, it's that just not dying.
And then it ends with it's got corn in it too. Not like the fancy word for porn. Like, it's corny in places of that book.
Lights Out?
Yeah. But that goes with like the rom-com, that's why.
Oh, you mean like it's kind of like cheesy?
Yeah.
Well,
Which is also what you want.
It's intentional, you know.
Yeah.
Most of them aren't corny. That's the...
Oh, okay. So it's just like...
So Haunting is there... Because there's no comedic relief in Haunting. It's just... And then there's... If you read Haunting and you're like, okay, that wasn't bad, then Hunting is going to emotionally scar you. So...
Yeah.
Haunting is... It's him obsessed with her, and there's this air of consent because you can hear her thoughts, but the second one, it's other people and there's none. So it's like, it's just, it's rough. It is the one book I think if I knew, I would not have read it. It was so...
Oh, maybe I shouldn't read these then.
It was almost like when you're done, you're like, like you ever watched Criminal Minds or anything like that?
Not religiously, but go on.
It's like that where it's like, but it's so long. Because like, they're like, getting tortured or whatever, and you're like, oh, this is emotionally taxing. But it's a whole book, so it's however many pages of that. So it's like, yeah, it's a lot. I don't think I'd read it again. I'm definitely not going to read it again, but I don't know if I would have read it the first time if I knew. But I also... loved Satan's Affair, which is the prequel, and then I loved Haunting.
Satan's Affair?
Satan's Affair. It is about Sibby, who is she's like a side character in Haunting.
Okay.
She's kind of like a crazy clown lady that lives in a haunted house.
All right.
So a lot of people think that think this is a Sibby tattoo. Which after I read, I got the
This is my mom.
This is my mom. No, but I got the tattoo when I had started booktok, but I hadn't read Haunting yet. Everyone was like, "You got a Sibby tattoo." I'm like, "Who is Sibby?" And then I read the book and I'm like, I got a Sibby tattoo. So,
you prophetically got the tattoo.
I really liked her character, so she's getting her own book eventually. I don't know.
This is a kind of on topic. Is Verity considered dark romance? Verity? The book by Colleen Hoover?
Oh, I haven't read it. I don't know.
Oh, it's a book. It's got romance and it's dark, but maybe I don't know.
I'd have to read it. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know.
I mean, you almost got dragged into Credence, so...
Well, that was just because I made a video about it.
I'm
not going to read that.
I wouldn't.
You haven't read it either.
It's true. It's true. I can't judge it, but all of the comments are like, dirtiest books, that's up there.
Yeah.
And the fact that that's true is... And it's a taboo one, technically, because it's not her family, but it is her family, but they're not blood-related family, is my understanding.
Right, because that'd be weird.
Because that would be... Well, Little Stranger, they just call each other brother and sister throughout the entire book, and that's...
there's... Yep.
Listen, I...
Like what you like, I don't care. Some of those... what I'm trying to say is, probably not for me.
Little Stranger was not for me either. And I've said that before. It's not my favorite. It was not for me. I'm going to leave it at that. I try not to say anything too negative about books.
No, I mean,
because everybody likes something.
Yeah.
Okay, my next question, to just bring it back, is what is the weirdest thing...
I like how you're the one bringing structure to this.
I know, right? Out of the two of us? Well, one of us has to.
That's true. It would just be how it's been if it wasn't.
Yeah, otherwise it would just be us. Is it a podcast or just you listening into a conversation?
Maybe the best podcasts are the ones that are conversational.
I mean, I figured that's why. I mean, that's what no one expected.
The world needs more white men holding microphones and making podcasts.
You know what?
And we're just here to supply that.
Yeah, that's what we need.
We saw a need and we filled that need.
Next, we're going to teach men how to pick up women. That's going to be what do women want?
We're going to talk about the importance of ice baths and how Cybertrucks are really cool.
Yeah, and be like how much protein you should consume.
Yes.
And
how much protein is in a dose of semen?
I bet there's an answer.
There probably is. We should Google it, but I'm not going to touch my computer because it'll blow up. So moving on.
I'll Google it later. Well, let's stick with the book stuff, okay?
Yeah.
Weirdest thing to happen to you because of social media?
You go first. I'm sure you have more on-hand stories. I have to consider it.
Okay, well, there was, at the same event, there was a girl, the first thing she says to me is like, I want to lick you, but I'm not going to. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
That happened. I felt bad for her. I think she got so nervous, it was like the first thing out of her head, because then she avoided me the rest of the night.
Well, I gave her my cane. That is not code, by the way. Okay. I had a cane, and I gave it to her because she wanted my cane. I can't even say it without it sounding weird. I gave her my cane.
I gave it to her.
No. I had a literal cane. I was Dracula, and I was like, would you like my cane? Good ma'am. And she was like, I fancy wood, sir, or whatever. And then she left with McCain. Not McCain, not John McCain. My cane.
Did you want it back? Do you think you were going to use that one again?
No. If she didn't get to lick you, but maybe she licked the cane. I don't know. Maybe she's listening and like, you know what? It's nice to be appreciated.
Yeah, probably.
Shout out to you.
She did send me a whole email. I don't remember if I responded, but she was like, I'm sorry, I was so nervous. And I was like, whatever.
One of my favorite things is to, like, when you go to these events, there's always nervous people. And I just like breaking the ice and like trying to get them involved. Like the last weekend, there was a lovely lady who was having bad anxiety. And I was just trying to help her out. And by the end of the night, she was having a great time. And I asked her, I check back in every now and then. How you doing? Like, no more anxiety. Thank you so much. So I really like doing stuff like that.
I mean, that's awesome. Is it, was it like a social anxiety or just meeting you guys anxiety?
I think that was her first ball. And she was just like a social anxiety.
I mean, it's usually a lot of introverts that come to these.
Yeah. But there are always safe spaces for those types of people.
Yeah.
It's a freedom to break out of your shell.
Yeah, I think it's good because you put a bunch of introverts together. Yeah. There's nobody, they're all introverts, so it levels the playing field. Yeah. And then they add us to the mix of just random. I don't know. Do you consider yourself introverted? I don't think so.
I fake it pretty well. I can be happy-go-lucky around people if I'm ready. But like in this, like if I'm going to the store and I see somebody I know, it's not that I don't like them. I just don't want to talk. I want to hide. You know what I mean?
People do.
If I know there's going to be people and I'm going to talk and I'm going to blah blah, then I can be outgoing.
Whatever. You have to emotionally prepare yourself.
Like, I don't want to be caught off guard. But then again, I don't know. I'm an extrovert in that if I'm alone by myself for too long, I start questioning my own life and it's not fun. So I need people in my life physically.
Oh no, Steven's been alone for too long.
Yeah, like I'll start getting depressed if I'm home all weekend. So
I feel that.
I gotta get out and do stuff. So these balls help with that.
Yeah, I think that
these not help with that. But the question originally was the craziest thing that happened, right?
Yes.
It's because of social media.
Yeah, the licking, probably the biting thing was pretty.
Would you care to share the biting?
The biting story was that at the same event, it was a vampire event, and they told me that they wanted me to sell more tickets, and I was like, I could promise to bite somebody. I thought the event coordinator would be like, haha, no, that's not what happened.
No, she was all about those ticket sales.
She was like, she gave me a pot or the raffle, so you had to buy a raffle ticket, and then for whatever you wanted your raffle ticket to go towards, you gave something, right? It was
Yeah, I had like 4 raffle tickets. Yeah, we all the cast had to give something. I think I gave one of my favorite books, and I signed it, and I wrote a little note in it, and then I embossed it with my library embosser, and it was Darker Shade of Magic, that's a great book. And that had like 5 tickets somebody wanted, or that 5 people wanted, and then yours was like overflowing with tickets.
Yeah, first me to bite somebody. And then it would have been fine. I was totally cool with that until the ticket sales lady was like, yeah, some of these women want to get your tattoo or your bite mark tattooed on them.
Yeah.
And that...
Guilty.
They immediately... I was Steven, we can later if you want. That could be your one...
That could be my tattoo tonight.
Yeah, that could be one and only tattoo.
It's right on the butt.
Is that the only... That's the only acceptable way.
That's a good point. Right on the side of the shaft.
I don't know if that would work.
Here's a question. This is random. Why is cock always the word that comes up in these books? It's never like wiener.
Because that's not hot, Steve.
Or panane.
Panane?
Hey, Dan pulled out his panane. Now I need to go off on too many tangents. Go ahead.
So the bite thing.
Yeah.
one of the events, a girl put her head between my legs. Wasn't my favorite.
Yeah. Sorry about that, by the way.
She sat me down and then spread my legs. I thought she was gonna sit in front of me, and she whipped around, put her head between my legs, and then took a picture. And in the picture, you could see I'm kind of like, ugh. But because she didn't ask. I feel like she probably should have asked.
Maybe consent is a nice thing to be involved in.
Yeah. The Callie Hart thing was pretty crazy, I think. Not if I would call that weird.
Yeah, the author of Rapid Forks.
She, by the way, when I mentioned you, she's like, he's the one that gives the weird nicknames, right? And I was like, yes.
I have to do that because why not?
I mean, you come up with it. I couldn't do it. That was the one thing.
That's a problem mentally.
You're profiting from your mental illness is basically.
I'm profiting monetarily sometimes, but I feel like I'm getting worse mentally.
Do you think this is pushing the addiction?
Probably. Like I'm fighting fire with fire in a volcano. You're
just feeding it, just like throwing it like, oh no, just more. You're putting charcoal in the front of the train or whatever. Yeah,
it is okay. Just imagine me not having any content and just left with myself.
At least you have an excuse to.
I have an outlet, so it is helpful in a sense.
Yeah, because that's another thing. That's how I started TikTok in general.
Yeah,
is that I was like, I like to say things, so I'm gonna just ADHD ramble. I mean, I did start with I was an Uber driver, and every time something weird would happen, which was often as an Uber driver, I would Snapchat my friend and be like, "This just happened. Here's my story." And I saw TikTok where it was kind of something similar. I was like, "Oh, I want to do that," so I did for a very short amount of time.
Hearts are breaking across the world right now.
Why?
Realizing that you were an Uber driver.
Why?
They never got to sit in your car.
I did get hit on quite a bit.
Look at you.
Thanks, buddy. It was a college town. I was an Uber driver at the college I went to. So I did get some people I knew.
Did you get a degree in smashing?
I
Good
did
looks?
not. I was not single while I did it, so which is probably a good thing if I'm honest with you. It limited I would have made no money. The first girl that was like, I got offered to go to parties all the time. I probably would have like, okay, like it just like I would have like clocking out because you can. There's no set time. You just like turn off the app. So one girl offered. She's like, you should come to my birthday. And then we get there. It was her parents' house, and there was nobody else there. It was just like her and her 3 friends. I was like, and your Uber.
She needed people at a party.
I was like, this is a choice. Like, I get it if it was a party.
Yeah.
But it's 5 people.
How old was the person?
It's like my age.
Oh, okay.
No, it was like a.
Will you come to my birthday party?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's the weirdest thing you've had? Let's go
from
back.
Social media. Yeah.
Happened from social media.
There's no substance in this podcast at all right now.
Well, what are we supposed to? This is what we knew was going to happen.
That's a good point. This is just for us.
This is just for us.
I feel the anxiety.
This is way when we get canceled.
That's not
we have something to look back on and be like, remember when we did that?
Yeah. Remember when we were almost famous?
Right.
We ruined it by whatever we said. Okay, so where's the thing? Let me see. We have different content, like I said earlier, so it's not like I'm welcoming odd encounters. Not that you're welcoming them, but like it makes more sense that people would see something that you post and be like, oh, I'm gonna try to or whatever.
Yeah, the approachability makes it more there.
I don't know. I don't really have any weird encounters.
Is the person yelling across the store?
Oh yeah. That wasn't really weird though. It was just funny. I was at a store, a 7-Eleven in my hometown, and somebody across yells out, "Steven!" Huh? What? Yeah, like she was near the coffee, I was near the ice, and it was the entire store between us. And she was yelling, and he's like, "How are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm fine." And so I was like, "I'm walking over to you now." So I walked over to her, and then we had a normal conversation at normal volume, kind of, and then I left. But other than that, it's not really weird.
When I was in Nashville, I was like walking, like they were milling about before the ball officially started, and they were sending. I had to go upstairs to go do something, so we were going upstairs to the green room. And as I'm walking past the crowd, some girl just goes, "Squamer!" And I'm like, and I like turn, and then I think I don't know if she had a plan, like at all. Like she just saw me and was like, "I know that guy." So just super loud, "Squamer!" And then I turn and she's just kind of staring at me, and then I'm like, "Hi," and then she just doesn't do it.
That was reflexive. Like she just moved.
That's how it felt, honestly.
Like, I can't hold it back. I gotta scream this
It
name.
had to happen.
Yeah.
So that was like,
oh, the last ball I did, I danced with some people, and lovely lady came up to me and said, "Hey, this is my song, and I need you to redeem my prom." And I was like, "What? I don't know what you mean by that." It was just a dance, but after the dance, I was like, "Did it redeem your prom night?" She was like, "Yeah, a little bit." So I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I guess I kind of white boy shuffled my way through a dance, and she kind of redeemed her prom. So that's good.
making memories.
Making memories. I walked away from that going,
I did it. I did a thing.
I tried to contribute.
I did my best
somehow.
But
that was a fun event. There was a lot of dancing. I got out of my shell more on that one, which is odd because I was completely sober too. But I did my white boy.
I've started to dance more. I think.
Yeah, I can't dance, but
I can't either.
I stopped caring. No, it's like
I care less and less the more I do. Also, like Halos and Horns, when they put us in the middle, they line everybody on the outside. They're just like, go talk to people. I was like,
yeah, that was also my first event, so I didn't know what to do.
You did it. You handled it better than I did.
Thanks.
I think basically, I think Brandy. I just she was like, come with me. We're going to talk to people.
Yeah, she's a social butterfly.
Yeah, she's social. We're not. I'm like, I can't.
I can fake it. My problem is remembering conversations with a person, and then when I see them again later that night, asking the same questions on accident. And they're like, we already talked about this. Oh, yeah, we have. I'm so sorry. Because I talk to everybody, and then I forget. And I have a terrible memory. It's the liquor.
I can't even blame them. I just don't remember. But the other thing is, sometimes I'll say stuff to people, like conversation-wise, but I also made TikToks about it. So a lot of them will know the conversation or like know what I'm going to say before I say it. Like one time I was like at, I think it was Nashville, and I was like, I really want more tattoos. I was like, I have a dragon. She's like, the dragon that doesn't have the wing? And I'm like, yeah. And I was like, but I have your forearms done? Yeah, you have the Greek one on one sleeve. And then I was like, okay.
Like, is it weird that some people know everything about you that you want to be known? They obviously don't know everything about you, but they know more than you think they do.
Sometimes it's that, and then on top of that, like sometimes I'll say something. I'll be like, yeah, I made a video. I don't know what I exactly said. And they'll quote back to me. They're like, oh, you said this. And I'm like, do you know my content better than I do? Like, one girl was like, oh, well, I said something. I was like, I can't remember when I posted that. She was like, oh, 2.5 weeks ago. And I'm like, yep. How do you remember that?
That reminds me of another encounter. So I went to Universal Studios with my family last year, and we were standing in line for the Minion ride. I think I already told you the story, but I was standing in line for the Minion ride, and everybody is dressed up as Dr. Nefario. And so the lady at this point in the line was also dressed up as Dr. Nefario. And it gets to be my turn to go, or our turn to go, and she looks at me, and she stares at me what felt like 5 minutes. It was probably like 15 seconds, but 15 seconds is an eternity if you're staring into the eyes of a stranger and you don't know what's going on. So she was just staring at me, or staring up at me, because she was normal height, and I was towering over her like the hot person I am. Anyway.
You're just so tall.
I can't even be in the same room with myself sometimes. I'm so tall. So she's just staring at me. And I remember just looking back at her, thinking, okay, is she playing is this part of the character? Is she supposed to just stare at the people in line? Is this what Dr. Nefario does? And then she goes,
did we watch the same movie?
I was just like, okay, what's happening right now? And then she has a puzzled look, and then she goes, Akatar. And I was like, oh, okay, social media. Akatar. Yes, I read books or whatever. I said it was weird. And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on just now. And then she showed me her tattoo. It was on her wrist. She wasn't like freaking showing her brown eye in front of my kids or anything, but
Universal Studios.
Hey, check out my tattoo. Oh Lord, hide your eyes, children. Anyway, so it was like the Mountains of Valaris or something. She was a fan, and then I posted a silly video, I think the next day, telling that story, and then she commented, oh, that was me. Small world. But not really, because it's the internet.
Yeah, usually when I meet people, like, I'll post about it, like, if it's a funny story, and then they'll comment, be like, that was me! Right there! I'm like, yes, it was!
Yes. Well, I mean, there's gratification that comes with that. Oh, he's making a video about me?
Yeah, it's about me, yeah. My coworker I don't know if I told you that story, but my coworker, came up to my desk. It was not someone I see very often. She's like on a completely different project, but when we come together, we have like the big team meetings.
Yeah.
So she comes by my desk and she's like, "Hey, have you ever heard of BookTok?" And I was like, "Uh-huh." And she's like, "Okay, so there's a guy on TikTok that does BookTok stuff." And I'm like, "Yep." And she's like, "Okay, you look exactly like him." Not thinking, "Oh, it's you." She thinks I have a doppelganger on the internet I didn't know about. With
Maybe
the same
you do.
tattoos.
I have a doppelganger. We met her earlier.
You did, yeah.
Go ahead, though.
We should bring her on the next one. Maybe that's how we should start the next podcast.
Just bring
her,
other me.
yeah, other you. But no, she was convinced. She was just like, "So have you?" I was like, "Is it me?" And she was like, "No, like the dude on the internet." I'm like, "Yeah, I understand. Is it me?" And she's like, "Do you have a large social media following?" I'm like, "Yeah."
A little bit.
And then,
I've been known to dabble.
I've been known to dabble. At the time, I was like, I don't know, like 700,000 across everything. Because the thing is, I don't like to pigeonhole like 500 on TikTok, it's whatever, because I don't know what they saw me on.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to be like.
Yeah, I post the same thing everywhere. So
yes, well, same. So, but yeah. And then she was like, "This is weird." She's like, "I've sent your videos to other people," and I'm like, "What are we at? Time wise?
50.
We're gonna aim for an hour? You think?
I don't know. It's 2 now. We got to do the thing at 2:30. But keep going with the story. We'll end here in a second.
Okay.
Because I got to take a shower and stuff.
It takes me like 5 minutes to get a suit on, but
No, I got to take a shower and then get a suit on. Yeah.
I have to figure out what I'm gonna do because I want the tattoo, but it's pants, and I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. About
You're getting a tattoo of pants?
Yeah, it's a tattoo of pants. No,
Really?
I'm wearing pants.
Oh,
and I want the tattoo.
the way you phrased. Okay, pardon me. The way you phrased it, I'm gonna get a tattoo and it's pants. You're gonna get a picture of pants on your body.
Picture of pants.
That's what you should do. Just a silhouette of like the vector of pants or something.
Yeah, that's. I know people that get weird.
Yeah,
tattoos.
and then you can. Then when you take your pants off for a nice lady next, you go, "Want to see the pants dance?" And then you can like flex your calf. This is not your calf.
No.
This is your. What is this?
Quads.
Quad. This is your quad. This is your calf. We're just learning together in a safe space about the human body. Anyway, you can do the pants dance and then cover it up. Here's the no pants dance, and then do the same thing.
See, these are the kind of tattoos I feel like you get.
Exactly. If I was going to get a tattoo,
This is why no one should let him near.
I have to be funny, because if I'm not funny, you'll find out how much I actually suck as a human. Does that make sense?
I thought you were just sad.
That too.
I mean, same. So
we're not going to bring the mood down, though. Let's keep it up. Let's keep it up.
Let's keep it up.
This is not called the sad cast.
Debbie Downers.
The Debbie Downers. ADHD now stands for Dad's sad, but with it, so an ADHD.
ADS.
ABS. ADS? I don't know.
Dad's sad would be.
I'm losing brain cells right now. And I'm pretty sure if they're still listening, they've lost more brain cells.
That's true. They were like, "I thought this was going to be about books."
This is not a book.
We haven't really discussed. Well, let's not. We discussed Lights Out.
We can do another one next after this one is released. We'll probably have to do like
a little more structure.
Online kind of thing.
Oh, well, we're going to have to, because we're going to do this weekly. The next event we have together isn't for...
If it's we maybe do like by a month or twice a month. I don't know what we're going to do.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of... I think since we don't really prep,
yeah,
it's just whenever we have time.
We can prep. We can prep the next thing and talk about an actual book.
Yeah, but even when we go on actual podcasts where their entire goal is to get us to talk about books and about books.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like I'm best when it's just off the cuff. It's more fun. And I don't really like structured stuff because, I mean, I like structure, but I also like to play around in the structure. Does that make sense? I'm trying to explain this.
It's like a child fun house.
That's exactly.
There's Steven over there.
He's on the monkey bars.
They're like, okay, listen, you just have to put walls in so he doesn't escape. That's
there we go. That's a good point. So I like having a structure, but then tickling the lines a little bit. Does that make sense?
Now I'm just picturing you like rubbing the walls of these fun houses.
Hey, for any, yep. How much money you got?
Yep.
I'll rub whatever walls you want me to rub.
That was part of the event tonight. You're just gonna be
rubbing walls.
Yeah,
that's the name of this podcast. Rubbing walls with Stevie and Speeby. I can't even talk.
Yeah. How do you think tonight's gonna go? By the way.
I don't know. I have to get rid of the just overall depression and anxiety that I'm dealing with. But other than that, I think it's going to go okay.
Are you worried about so we have to be where it's like a riddle that
I'm not worried about it at all.
that they purposely gave us no information. Like,
Yeah.
out of the whole cast, they were like...
Everybody else is like embodying an actual character, and they're like, hey, guys, just be yourself and don't give them any information.
That was literally the entire day. They're like, okay, this person has this the information, this person has this information. We have the information they're already given.
Yeah.
That is what
They walk out knowing exactly what we're supposed to know.
Yeah, they're given a piece
Which
of paper.
is nothing.
Yeah, which is, hey, that riddle there, we found that.
Yeah,
Anything else?
We printed off the piece of paper you're holding. We're just as clueless as you, but we can chat for a little bit if you'd like, or you can go talk to people that actually matter in this place.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we're gonna phrase it. Our characters we're friends with the Lord.
Yeah.
And we found the
riddle.
the curse that cursed.
We found the incomplete riddle.
But we didn't do very good because we weren't given all of it.
No.
So that was it. That's our entire. Other people know information.
Yeah.
And then they told me to be flirtatious. That was my entire.
Yeah, that's just not going to be good.
Listen,
it's all downhill.
They told me.
I've never been fired from a ball before, but tonight's the night.
You know what? If something happens, I'm gonna be like, I was told.
It's written down. It said be flirtatious. Yeah, it didn't say grabby.
I'll grab you.
Stop grabbing the men, Squamer.
Yeah, there's that. I'm gonna be every character that isn't like a character from a book. They're like when I'm given like something they came up with, it's devilish, flirtatious. So for book lush,
yeah,
I'm supposed to be devilish and flirtatious.
Just be yourself.
That was what I was like.
Be yourself. Be yourself. You ever seen the movie Just Friends? The mom. Be yourself. Somebody out there knows what I'm talking about.
Sure,
and those two people are laughing right now. Oh my gosh, he's using references that I know.
Oh my god, I've seen that.
We're just friends, aren't we?
Oh my god.
Okay. Well, we should probably wrap this up, shouldn't we?
Do we want to try to aim for the next extra?
Well, I got a shower and it's 2:06.
Okay, then yes, we can wrap this up.
I don't know what this is going to be posted on, and I don't know if you can comment, but if you can comment, how did you like this particular episode? What did you think?
How did you feel?
How did it make you feel? Did it make you feel, Randy, baby, yeah? Or did it make you feel, you know what I could have done without this entire almost hour of them chatting?
We're going to owe them money.
Somehow this is going to break the bank for me.
Yeah. They're going to be like, my time was spent on this. I think I'm owed.
I'm going to have to buy listens.
Or financial compensation. It's like a car accident.
And then we'll get some better help. We'll get better help to sponsor us.
Help.
And
they do sponsor a lot of podcasts.
I know, yeah.
Audible.
Yeah.
I feel like Audible should sponsor.
Xanax should sponsor.
Does Audible follow you?
No.
I think Audible follows me.
They commented on a video and I said, does this mean I get a free membership? And then they ghosted me.
They comment on a good bit of my stuff.
Of course they do.
One of them, I think they follow me, but I could be wrong. But also, they comment on one of them they commented, I was like, did you even watch the video? They're like, you should listen to this on Audible. And I was like, I did. It was part of the video.
Yeah, I think it's more like algorithmic kind of stuff.
I know.
But anywho, this was fun.
I need you to write a song. Like a rap, like a little...
A rap?
A little rap. Yeah, I want you to know a wrap-up song, like a little, like...
Oh, like a little ditty to end this?
Yes.
Like right now?
Beginning? No, not right now. I mean...
Stevie and PB on the mics. Now we're gonna end and go outside.
That's it, every time.
That's it.
Just that sound clip.
Yeah.
Just... you know who you are.
And PB mics sitting on their ass. Now we're gonna go outside and touch grass. There we go.
Nailed it. All right, I think we should.
We should end with that. Well, this was fun. Thanks for being here. I don't know. How do you end something?
That was good. We should have just ended it 30 seconds ago.
Oh, yeah.
End the crap.
Okay, try again.
Okay, we got to sing us out.
I don't want to sing. We already did the singing. Well, we're not.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for listening. That was it. All right.